The night before my wedding, my best friend tried to stop me. Not gently, not casually. She looked like she was about to break apart. Amara, don't marry him. Let me ask you something. What would you do if the one person who helped you build your dream suddenly told you to destroy it? Because that's exactly where I was. My name is Amara Naji. I'm 27, and up until that moment, I thought I had everything figured out. The dress? Perfect. The venue? Booked a year in advance. Every detail, flowers, seating, music, handled. But none of it would have happened without Leela Mensa, 28, my best friend. She wasn't just a bridesmaid. She was my second brain, my calm and chaos, the one who stayed up with me at 2 a.m. choosing between ivory and champagne tablecloths like it actually mattered. And then there was Daniel Okoye, 30, my fiancé. Charming, successful, the kind of man people immediately trusted, the kind of man my family adored, the kind of man I thought I knew completely. Everything was right. So why did it suddenly feel so wrong? Looking back, there were signs. Tiny ones, easy to ignore. Leela would go quiet sometimes when Daniel walked into the room. She'd force a smile, but her eyes didn't match. Once I caught her staring at him like she was trying to solve a puzzle she didn't want the answer to. I brushed it off. Wedding stress, I told myself. Emotions, nerves. But now we were standing in my apartment the night before the wedding, my dress hanging behind me, my future literally waiting for me, and Leela looked terrified. Her hands were shaking. "I didn't want to do this," she said. "I tried to find another way." Another way to do what? Before I could ask, she stepped closer and held out her phone. Unlocked. A message thread already open. "Just look," she whispered. My heart started pounding, loud, uneven, because whatever was on that screen had pushed her this far. And as I slowly took the phone from her hand, I saw the name at the top of the conversation. And in that exact second, I knew something was very, very wrong. Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The name on the screen wasn't a stranger. It was someone I saw almost every day. Sophie Adeyemi, 26. My coworker. Let that sink in for a second. Out of all the people in the world, why was my fiancé texting her? At first, I told myself to calm down, don't jump to conclusions. People talk, people text, it doesn't mean anything, right? I started scrolling. The first few messages looked normal, casual, safe. "Did you get home okay?" "Yeah, traffic was crazy, LOL. "Glad you made it." Nothing suspicious. But then the tone shifted. Subtle at first, almost invisible. Inside jokes I didn't recognize, late-night timestamps, 1:13 a.m., 2:47 a.m. Messages that felt too comfortable, too familiar. And then I saw one that made my stomach tighten. "Daniel, I wish I could have stayed longer tonight. Sophie, you know you can't. Not yet." Not yet? What does that even mean? I felt my chest getting tight, my mind racing to explain it away. Maybe they were talking about work. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe I was overreacting. Have you ever tried to convince yourself of something even when your gut is screaming the opposite? That was me. I looked at that Leela. This doesn't prove anything. She didn't argue, didn't raise her voice. She just said one thing. Keep scrolling. So I did. And that's when I noticed something else. Gaps. Whole days missing from the conversation, like pieces had been deleted, conversations erased. Why delete anything unless there was something to hide? My fingers felt cold as I kept going. More messages, more tension. Daniel, I hate pretending like this. Sophie, just a little longer. A little longer until what? I stopped scrolling. My hands were shaking now. This could still be nothing, I said, but even I didn't believe it anymore. Leela finally stepped closer. I saw the notification by accident, she said quietly, Weeks ago. I tried to ignore it. I really did." Her voice cracked. "But it didn't feel right, Amara, and the more I paid attention, the worse it got." I stared back at the phone, at the messages, at the man I thought I was going to marry in less than 24 hours. And then I asked the question I was afraid to hear the answer to. Is this everything? Leela's silence lasted just a second too long. Then she slowly shook her head. "No," she said. Her voice dropped. "This is just the part you were never supposed to see. If you marry him tomorrow, you're not just marrying a cheater." Leela's voice was steady now, too steady. "You're walking into something much worse. Let me ask you something. What's worse than betrayal? Because in that moment, I thought I already knew the worst-case scenario. I was wrong." I stared at her, my heart pounding so hard like I might pass out. "What do you mean, worse?" She hesitated, like she was giving me one last chance to walk away from the truth. Then she said it. "I followed him." Silence. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. "You what?"